All right. Hey, everybody. My name is Halagatto, and I am the owner of Halagatto Fitness. And today I'm just going to give you some quick tips that you can find useful. So, we all hear about the saying that less is more, particularly the older you get when you're exercising. You hear a lot less is more, and this is true. I'm going to talk about this here and why less is more, and how you could actually use tapering in resistance training. What is tapering? Typically, in tapering, when it relates to endurance sports, is a lot of you will hear about people who train for marathons. And when they're getting close to the race, in the week or two before, they'll start to taper on their distance that they're doing, their intensity. The same applies for resistance work. And actually, if you do a little bit of tapering with your resistance, that can actually be very productive for you, and I'll tell you why. So, what exactly is tapering? It's a strategically planned reduction in intensity after a heavy training period. So, why should you use tapering in a resistance program? There's a lot of benefits to this. It could benefit you in your training if you're training heavy throughout the year, or maybe you're doing a really intense workout and your body just needs a break. But also, your mind is going to need a break as well. Particularly the older that you are, the more recovery time you're going to need, so you're going to benefit from more frequent tapering periods. Your body's going to have a better way to adapt with these tapering periods because you're not going to be so overstressed. Tapering promotes recovery by giving your neuromuscular system a break. That's your brain, your nerves, which send those impulses to the muscles and the tendons to fire. Your system is going to need a break after a lot of the training, whether it be an endurance sport or in what I'm talking about today is a strength cycle. It could also help recreational exercisers. And what I mean by a recreational exerciser is somebody who doesn't compete in powerlifting or CrossFit or doesn't do any bodybuilding competitions, but it'll help them transition from one phase to the next. And for example of that would be is if somebody who is a recreational exerciser, they may be going through a period where if they're doing strength training, let's say they're doing a higher intensity type of strength training period for so many weeks, their body needs a break before they go on to another period where they may do some lower intensity strength training and maybe just focusing on lower rep, a lot more weight, that type of phase. So we need to have a gap or a break in between those two phases. So it kind of helps the body recover and get ready for that next phase. So an example for a recreational athlete would be is let's say that you're training at a high volume and low intensity for a 6 to 8 week period. And you may do a 1 to 2 week taper before the low volume, high intensity training period begins. So again, what will this do? How will you benefit from it? You'll be mentally and physically rejuvenated before you transition to the next training cycle. You'll be ready to go. You're just not going to be coming off of one really hard training cycle and then moving into a different training cycle that is still difficult, but not the same training modality, if that makes sense. So what are the benefits to tapering? It's going to improve your strength and power. It's going to increase the healthy anti-inflammatory immune cells in your body. It's going to lower your cortisol levels, which that's going to be really key, folks, especially now. Reduce that stress. Reduces muscle cell damage because you're going to need to repair, especially the older you are, you're going to need more time to repair. It's going to increase your glycogen fuel storage in your body. And it's going to create an anabolic potential for muscle growth. And it's also going to boost your athletic performance. So when I'm talking about tapering, and I do periods of tapering when I'm working with clients, the majority of my clients, they're not athletes, but they still need to be challenged for whatever reason. So when I'm working with a lot of my clients, and actually a lot of my online clients right now that I'm working with, I structure their strength training through a certain amount of weeks. So that's your periods of that intensity. And each week, the intensity will build from week to week. After so many weeks, they get a recovery period. So the folks that are doing a lot of this online programming, they're able to do this program on their own, whether they're working out in a gym or in their home gym, and they're getting challenged each week. After 3 weeks, there's a recovery period in there. And what I found is that these recovery periods, these tapering periods, allow for better program adherence. A lot of clients don't get bored. They do see progress as they're going into the 3, 4, 6, 8 week programs that they're going through. They can see that their strength is getting better, their cardiovascular fitness is getting better, their endurance is getting better, and their flexibility is getting better. So this is something that's a hallmark of my online programming. So along with my programming that I have available is I have some structured, personalized online program that's going to be coming down the road here very, very soon. So if you are interested in getting some information as far as what does my programming offer, how does it work, what can you expect, just drop me an email at hgatto, G-A-T-T-O, at hollygattofitness.com, or you can reply to this post, whether it be on Facebook or YouTube, and I will get back to you with some more information. But in the meantime, I want you to think about that when you're exercising, even if you're not doing one of my programs, if you're doing another program you found online or in a magazine, it doesn't matter. Give yourself a period of tapering, a recovery week where that intensity drops down, maybe your sets, your reps, and your weights drop down. Run that for a week or two. See how you feel whenever you start to continue back on the program. You may find that it's going to be better for you. You'll be well rested, and you'll be ready to go the next time when you hit the gym with that new program.